The Singularity, the guardian of the vault, a former member of the Imagined Order, and the one who helped the Paradigm build the mech, is coming back. So, if you have forgotten who the Singularity is, don't worry, I'll gladly refresh your memories about her. So, as you know, the Singularity was a mysterious character that none of us knew about throughout the years. She first appeared in Fortnite Chapter 1 Season 8 live event, the Unvaulting event. Well, kind of. So, as you know, her job in Fortnite Chapter 1 Season 8 was to guard the vault to prevent us to see what's inside of it. But unfortunately, the vaulting event happened, and we saw what's inside the vault itself, which is the 0 point. And for some strange reason, the Singularity just left her post and allowed us to see the 0 point for the first time. All was left with the Singularity was her helmet on her desk right in front of the 0 point. Because again, the Singularity just strangely and mysteriously just left her post. She then made a reappearance, well, a brief reappearance, in Fortnite Chapter 1 Season 9 as a statue at Neo Tilted Towers and in a Chapter 1 Season 9 loading screen during the events of the battle against the Devourer when she helped the Paradigm build Mecha Team Leader to prevent the Devourer to absorb the 0 point to, well, destroy everyone on the Chapter 1 island. So since then, the Singularity hasn't made a reappearance. She didn't make a reappearance in Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Chapter 5, and Chapter 6. Heck, she wasn't even mentioned in the Fortnite comics, such as Fortnite Batman 0 Point and the Fortnite Marvel Zero War comic series. However, it seems that possibly she was briefly mentioned in Chapter 3 Season 2 Resistance. During the final battle against the Imagined Order, the Imagined thought the idea of getting the Paradigm involved, which didn't really sit right with the Origin, the Foundation, and the Order, because they were convinced that the Paradigm was a traitor amongst them when she had to make a temporary alliance to the Imagined Order. But however, according to the Origin, he says that someone from inside the Imagined Order set the Paradigm free, which did have her to convince Sloane to build the mech in order to stop the Devourer. And it's possible that person who freed the Paradigm from her captivity from the Imagined Order was possibly the Singularity. Because it seems that the Singularity was, well, filled with inspiration by the Paradigm. Because as you know, according to the Paradigm, she had to convince the Imagined Order, especially Sloane, to build the mech. Because if they did not, then everyone from the Chapter 1 island, especially the 0 point, would have been destroyed. And as you know, the Imagined Order only cares about the 0 point. They don't really care about people on the Chapter 1 island. So they will literally allow people to die on the Chapter 1 island by the Devourer, when he absorbs the 0 point, that is. So after convincing the Imagined Order, the Paradigm did work on the mech, but she did have help, which is the Singularity. She helped her build the mech in order to stop the Devourer, which did work. The Mecha Team Leader was able to stop the Devourer. So it is briefly possible that maybe the Singularity helped, but honestly we still don't know, considering that she didn't make a reappearance. But if it is possible that she did help the Paradigm, then it would kind of make sense. Because this was actually brought back up, like, chapters later. Because flash forward now to Chapter 7 Season 2 Showdown, and the Singularity is coming back. From a secret Santa Weekly story quest, our job was to decrypt a recording from the Singularity from a holotable, which was actually kind of just out of nowhere. Just unexpected, actually. And after decrypting the Singularity's message, when Amy was about to read her stats, the Order said this, that her and the Foundation and the Visible Reality Unknown are the only 7 members left. Because as you know, the Imagine's dead, so is the Paradigm, and the Origin, the scientists, and the Visible Reality Zero are lost in the Chrome. And the Visible Reality Unknown responds by saying that perhaps not. But then when Amy found the Singularity in the 7 secure server and said her name, she was caught off by the Order and says that the Singularity is a member of the Imagined Order and she would never work with them. Which is actually briefly true because, as you know, the Imagined Order don't really care of anything that's going to happen in the Omniverse except what's going to happen to the 0 Point, because they only care about the 0 Point. And it's true that the Singularity will not work with them, considering that the only 7 members she worked with was the Paradigm. And I know for a fact that she's not going to work alongside with the Order, the Foundation, especially an alternate version of the Visitor. So it would be impossible. But then Amy cuts her off by saying that the Singularity is coming, which is insane and actually just mind-blowing. So yeah, the Singularity is coming back, and she's on her way to the Golden Coast, which is again insane. It seems that after knowing the Paradigm is gone, it seems the Singularity was, I guess, reformed because of the Paradigm, and decided to work alongside with her what's left of her comrades, considering the Order and the Foundation are the only 7 members left, alongside with an alternate version of the Visitor, known as the Visitor Reality Unknown. So it's kind of crazy that the Singularity is going to be a redeemable character and able to work alongside with the Order and the Foundation to stop not only the Exalted Ice King, but also the Dark Voyager. And knowing that the Singularity is coming back, this actually now makes a lot of sense. Because as you know, back in Chapter 6 Season 5's live event, 0 Hour, during the final battle against the Dark Presence, the Mecha Team Leader, which was 7 themed, came back. Which is odd considering the fact that no one is piloting the mech anymore, considering that 1, the Foundation was captured by an alternate version of the Ice King, 2, the Order was somewhere in the Omniverse, 3, the Imagine's dead, 4, the Paradigm sacrificed herself to Zero Fusion, and 6, the Origin, the Scientist, and the Visitor Reality Zero are lost in the Chrome. So the question is, who is piloting the Mecha Team Leader, and who had it to kick the Revan the Red Cube towards the Dark Presence? Well, it's possible that maybe it's also the Singularity, which actually does make a lot of sense. Because as you know, back in the Chapter 1 Season 9 loading screen, the Singularity did help the Paradigm build the mech. So it would make sense that she would pilot the 7 theme Mecha Team Leader to kick Revan the Red Cube towards the Dark Presence. So it kind of would make sense. So, yeah. That's it. That's all you need to know what's currently going on in Chapter 7 Season 2 Showdown. With the Singularity coming back, which is still insanely mind-blowing, let's just say things are actually now getting a lot of interesting in Chapter 7 Season 2 Showdown. So with that said, thank you all so much for watching this video. Comment down below what your favorite things to do in Fortnite: Creativity, Byron Plays, Fortnite Ballistic, Fortnite Reload, the arrival of Fortnite Chapter 1 Season 8 OG, Fortnite Save the World, and Fortnite Reload's new map, the Elite's Stronghold. Comment down below what your favorite moments in Fortnite Chapter 7 Season 2 Showdown, Fortnite Chapter 1 Season 8 OG, Fortnite Save the World, and Fortnite Reload's newest map, the Elite Stronghold. Comment down below what Fortnite theories you want to discuss and debunk, and I'll gladly make videos about them. Subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss any videos from me, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Bye!